Hey Shane, Max Miller here from NHL.com and Sharks Hockey Digest. Congrats on the new location. Just wanted to say, what your overall thoughts, maybe reaction to the trade. Did you have any idea it might be coming, and just what have you heard about San Jose so far?
Yeah, a little bit. I spoke with my agent a little bit prior to the trade, and he mentioned that there was maybe a possibility. And for me, my first reaction was just excitement. I've been to San Jose a few times before when I played in Colorado, in the American League, and I'm just excited for a new spot. And obviously, it's a great upcoming young team, and hopefully, I can come to camp and do whatever I can to crack the roster and help the team.
Yeah, and you are a former first round pick, and obviously you're picked there for a reason, but it's been tough sledding getting into the NHL a little bit lately. What do you feel like you need to do in San Jose that might be able to get you mentioned that opportunity and crack the lineup? What might you need to do to kind of get to that next level for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of still yet to crack in, and obviously still the same goal every year. And for me, I think it's just going to be trying to find that identity, find that role that I can be useful and effective. And I think for me, it's it starts with my skating, my speed, and kind of trying to be able to play that effective, reliable checking role. And that's why I'm excited to come to camp and show what I can do.
Yeah, that style of play kind of fits the Sharks, mold, not necessarily just for only the AHL, but the NHL and Ryan Rosowski. What kind of conversations have you had with either John McCarthy or Ryan Rosowski or even Mike Greer about what they want you to bring when you get to the team next season?
Yeah, I know I've spoke to a few of those guys, and I think the same thing kind of comes up each time. Is I think my speed is my biggest asset, and my hockey IQ, and obviously they said they don't. There's a lot of young guys there and high end picks, and that's not what they're looking for. So hopefully I can come in and use my speed and be reliable and kind of play that checking role, and hopefully that gives me the best chance to succeed and to finally get that crack in the NHL.
And then the opportunity, I know we keep talking about it, but obviously the Barracuda have had a lot of turnover in their roster. Obviously, they just moved Thomas Bordeleau, who's top six, and Podorowski's no longer with the team, the MVP. How much opportunity do you feel that that gives you to be able to be successful, not only trying to crack the NHL, but just, a team that was in the playoffs last year that has high hopes again this year, just to be part of a really positive looking team trying to build off a good season last year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I played against Barracuda, a few years ago. I'm not too familiar with the roster nowadays or the turnover, but like you said, they obviously, in the AHL playoffs this year, and that's something the last 2 years that, we unfortunately we've missed out on. So, excited. It's an exciting opportunity, with both teams there, and I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks. Pleasure meeting you. Looking forward to seeing you in San Jose.
Nice to meet you.
Curtis?
Hey Shane, this is Curtis Pashalka from the San Jose Mercury News. Thank you for doing this today. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, well, just want to ask you about your season last year. How did you feel that it went overall last year?
Yeah, I thought, overall, I think, there was a lot of good and a lot of learning. I got up to New Jersey to be able to play a few games, and it's always exciting and, valuable experience. And, in Utica last year, we kind of got off to a slow start, and, it was kind of tough to fight back out of that the rest of the year. Missing the playoffs always stinks, and we kind of put up a good fight and a good push at the end, but just unfortunately too slow of a start to help us get there.
How did you got a little bit of an opportunity with the Devils, like you said last year. Did you kind of find out more about what kind of you need to do to sort of stick at the NHL level just from that time from last season?
Yeah, I think for sure. Each time you're up there and every time you play more games, I think, you kind of learn a little bit more each time about, what not only what it takes, but, what you need to do for yourself. And, I think I kind of, been able to put together and figure out what I need to do. And, it's just going to be a matter of, myself being able to execute that and, put it together consistently to continue playing there.
Obviously, you're uh, spent a couple of years at Boston University. Obviously, my career as a BU alum. What's your favorite memory about from playing your days from BU?
Probably my freshman year, we won the Hockey East title and we went to the NCAA tournament that year. That's a good one. But I think for me too, it's just, all the friends I've met that we still stayed in touch to this day. And we had such good classes there that, where all of us are still pretty close. And that's some of the best parts of it is, getting to see those guys still and still stay in touch with them.
Do you see this as a sort of a big time, an important time in your career? Just obviously going into another contract year for yourself. How big is this upcoming year for you, just to prove that you can play in the NHL and can contribute to an organization?
Yeah, for sure. I think this will be my seventh year pro and kind of, I guess, for like a crossroads in my career, I guess, and kind of not really make or break, but it's kind of getting to one of those points where, you don't only have so many kicks left, left at it. And for me, it's going to be a big summer, and I'm excited for it, and I'm up for the challenge, and still grinding, looking forward for that, opportunity, and that's what all of us are working for in this situation. So definitely excited.
You train back home in Halifax for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm back home in Halifax. I'll be here for the rest of the summer. It's nice to come back. We have a good group of pro guys here, so makes the training sessions good and the skates are good. So it's a good spot to be for the summer.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Shane.
No problem.
Shane?
Hey Shane, this is Shane Pang, San Jose Hockey Now. How's it going?
How are you?
Very good. Who are some of the people that you train with in Halifax?
Both Barron brothers. One of them plays in Nashville now, and then Winnipeg. So we train together at the gym. And there's a few other guys who play in the American League and Pro, and then our skates are same with they're there and Batherson and when Crosby and McKinnon are home. So it's nice to get out on the ice with them. It obviously makes it competitive and get to be around some of the best. It definitely helps everyone else out there.
How does it raise the level when Crosby or McKinnon steps on the ice there, even though you guys are still just in kind of summer training?
Yeah, I mean, it raises it right away. I mean, I feel like everyone on the ice, rises to their level, and obviously they're the two best in the world, and seeing the way they compete and the way they work each day, it definitely raises the compete level for everyone around. So it's fun to be a part of.
For fans who don't know your game, how would you describe your game? What are you best at, and what do you need to kind of work on?
I think for me, it's my speed. I think that's the biggest asset of mine. Being able to get in on the forecheck and kill penalties, and at the same time, I think be reliable and both ends of the ice. And for me, I think the biggest thing to work on moving forward for me is just my consistency. Make sure I'm playing the same game night in, night out, and playing the game that's going to make me the most successful and the one that's going to help the team the most.
Do you know anybody in the San Jose organization?
I work out and train. Actually, I forgot to mention him, but with Jake Furlong. So he's from out here as well. So I know him pretty well from the last couple summers. And Sam LeBear, who I played with last year, just signed out there. So I know those two. Other than that, I know a couple guys just through passing, but not too well. So yeah, just those two for now.
What's Jake told you about San Jose? Maybe live with him or something next year?
Yeah, he's no, he spoke highly of it. So I've kind of just been bouncing some questions off of him, at the gym the last few days. Obviously, like I said, I've been there a few times, but not enough to know the area super well or how things work. So I've just been kind of bouncing a few questions off him, getting to learn a little bit more. And obviously, once I get down there, can kind of get my surroundings and figure everything out from there.
Shane, thanks for doing this. I look forward to meeting you.
Thanks, you too.